Hello everyone, welcome to the Manthan series of BFM. In Manthan series, as you know, we are covering all the compulsory subjects of CIB, all of them. ABM, BFM, ABFM, BRBL, all of them, compulsory. All the numericals, objective questions, case studies. So follow the series, all the mentors, follow all the mentors, okay? And follow the complete videos. You'll get a lot of knowledge. It's available free. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, JAIIB CAIIB English medium. You'll get a lot of material on this and all the updates also. Okay, so let's move on. Follow the video, share this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the new batches of ADDA 24/7. Just now they are starting. Okay. So what is the topic today? Today's topic is asset and liabilities in bank's balance sheet. Now it's big topic. Components of assets and liabilities in bank's balance sheet and P&L. I've cut it short. I'll be taking some objective questions as well as numericals. These are asked in the exam, previous ones. Which of the following would be considered as an asset for commercial bank? Asset. So which is an asset for any commercial bank? Customer deposits, loan made to customers, bonds issued by the banks, and short-term borrowings. Okay, I'll give you one more option in this E. B and C. B and C. I'll give you this option also. B and C. Now think. Customer deposits, loan made to customers, bonds issued by the bank, short-term borrowings, and B and C. Now let me see who gives the correct option. Yes? Because I know this you all know. This is asset. What about this C? Bonds issued by the bank. Bonds issued by the bank is a liability. Liability. Okay, it's not an asset. Okay. Then what is an asset? Suppose if I have to consider any bond as asset, it should be purchased by the bank. See, bonds, okay, issued will be a liability. Liability. But purchased, if I have purchased the bond of someone else, then that is a asset. Okay. So if I have purchased some bond, that is called as an asset. See, what is an asset? Asset means which will give me income. Which will give me income. What is a liability? Which will take the income from me. If I have issued the bond, it means I have to give the coupon on that. Coupon means fixed interest. So if I have to give the fixed interest, definitely it's a loss for me. Isn't it? So that's why this is a liability, this is the asset. Okay? Got it? A bank's cash reserve, including the money it holds at the central bank, is classified as cash reserve. So what is the cash reserve for the bank? Now you include CRR also over here. Okay, I'll say CRR. CRR. Bank CRR for that example. Cash reserve means CRR and SLR. So directly I'll name it. A bank CRR is considered as what? Asset or liability, liability, equity, assets and revenue. What is CRR? What is SLR of any bank? You have to keep it with the bank, with RBI. So that is called as what? You have to means what? Is it a liability? Many of you are typing this as liability. Why? Because we have to compulsorily keep this. But remember, it's an asset. It's an asset. CRR, SLR are assets. Okay, kindly note this. These are assets. Okay. CRR, SLR are a part of NDTL. Okay. So demand and term liabilities, net of that. A primary liability of most commercial banks is primary liability. What is the most common liability in various commercial banks? Loans to other banks, customer deposits, bank capital and investments. So which is the primary liability, main liability for any bank? Yes, customer deposits. That is the main business, right? This is a primary, see, I'll write it over here, primary, okay? Liability is my deposit, and asset is my loan. That is my business, taking the deposit, giving the loan. That is my banking business. So what are the other liabilities then? Suppose if I say this is primary, then what is the other one? Other one is, if I am talking of liability, my other one is bonds issued. Bonds or debentures? Bonds issued. Okay? The bonds which are issued, I have given the bond and taken the money from the customer. It's like the FD. FD is a liability to the bank, right? Same logic. And which one is the asset then? Bonds purchased. So that is basically a asset. Again, this is other. Main is this business. Your banking business is this, deposits and loans. Okay? Move on. Next one. When a bank borrows from central bank, this is recorded as a, means I'll get money from RBI. How will I get money from RBI? Number one, through repo, right? In repo what happens? RBI will give money, RBI gives money or rupees you call it, cash, rupees, anything to the bank. And bank will give what? Bank gives securities, government securities, collateral, okay? Through repo. There are other ways also. There is one more way, that is called as your bank rate. Under bank rate also RBI can lend it to the bank, but that is an unsecured loan, only overnight. Repo can be for 3 months also. Okay, these are the two main ways. There are other ways also. Okay, there is a way called as MSF, where a bank can enter into their SLR securities and take the money, but those are further. Normally these two. Normally this repo is main one. Okay, repo is the main one. Bank rate is taken always in case of very serious situations. Otherwise, why will anyone require unsecured loan? Bank will always go for repo because that is a lower rate loan. This is like the home loan, and that is bank rate is like the personal loan, isn't it? Got it? So coming back, when bank borrows from central bank, it is called as what? Loan, asset, deposit, liability, capital or only liability. You will get confused over here, B and D. So the answer is D. It's pure liability. It's not a deposit liability. Deposit is from the customers. Okay. So here I have taken a loan from RBI and I have to repay it. Simple. I have to repay that loan. Isn't it? Got it? Clear? Move on. The fundamental accounting equation is assets equals to liabilities minus equity. Assets equals to liabilities plus equity. Liability equals to asset plus equity. Equity equals to asset plus liabilities. Think. What is the fundamental equation over here? What is the balance sheet? Asset and liabilities. So basic logic is what? They should be equal. Asset should be equal to liabilities. So asset equals to liabilities. What is given? Equities. Minus equity or plus equity. Now again there is a problem. See this. Actually this equity is also liability. There are two types of liabilities. Okay. One is short-term current liability and second is fixed liability or long-term liability. Okay. Now current liability will include all your CCs, OD, EMI, okay, any supplier payables, and fixed liabilities will include two parts. Again, it will include two parts. One is outside. Outside means I've taken a loan from outside. Okay, if I am let's say XYZ bank, I've taken a borrowing from some other bank. So that will also come over here. Long-term borrowing. Short-term will come under this. Long-term will under this. And second is your equity part. Equity, this. Or we call it inside liability. This equity part includes not only shares. See, equity means not only shares. It includes 3 to 4 parts. I'll show you over here. One is shares. Second is reserves and surplus, R&S. Reserves and surplus. Okay. Third is net profit. Net profit. And fourth one is there, which is nowadays added. That is called as revaluation reserve. Reval reserve. That is taken at reserve. That is taken at 55% discount. Means that is taken at 45%. So this is basically your asset equals to liability plus equity. Okay. So equity doesn't mean only shares. Equity means free funds. Okay. Free funds. All these are free funds. Which of the following statements is true? A bank's liability must always outweigh its assets. A bank's asset must always outweigh its liabilities. Assets and liabilities are always equal. And there is no relationship between the assets and liabilities. So what should you try in your bank? Always. Your loan should be more or your deposit should be more. What do you think? What should you try in your bank? Always. Logical, isn't it? You must always try that your assets must always outweigh your liabilities. Assets should always give you better income, more income than the liabilities, isn't it? Then only you'll have the salaries. Otherwise, how will you have the salaries? Numerical. A bank receives a new deposit of $50 million from a customer. How does the transaction affect the bank's balance sheet? Bank has received a new deposit of dollar. You consider this dollar or rupees also, anything. Huh? You consider it any. Currency hardly matters. Currency hardly matters. Question is, what is the bank receiving? Receives a new deposit of, let's say, 50 million, rupee, dollar, anything you call it. So what will be the change? Look at this. Assets. Cash and cash equivalent will decrease by 50 million. Second, liabilities. Customer's deposit will decrease by 50 million. Getting this? Customer's deposit will decrease by 50 million. Third, assets 50 million equals to liabilities 50 million plus capital, no change. Is it so? Okay. And all of the above. Of course, solution I have given it on the next page. But why? Simply you can solve it here only. Why next page is needed? So simple. Yeah. What is to be done? If I receive a new deposit from any customer, what will happen to my assets? New cash deposit, new deposit from the customer. So we are assuming that it is cash. We are receiving cash over here. New cash deposit. Okay. This word cash is to be added. So this will decrease. Will it decrease or will it increase? Assets. Cash will decrease or cash will increase? If I am receiving a cash deposit, so it will increase. So that is not the answer. Liabilities. Customer deposits will decrease by 50 million. Will the customer's deposit decrease or increase? 50 million. So that is also wrong. So these two are wrong. So all of the above is out. Now what remains? Asset 50 million equals to liabilities 50 million plus capital. That is true because capital is having no change. Capital means equity. That is having no change. So your answer will be asset 50 million equals to liabilities 50 million plus capital. Now I'll give you the real solution to this. This is C is right. But what about A and B? Look at this solution. Cash and cash equivalent will increase by $50 million. Why? Because we are considering cash. Cash, because that only cash will increase, right? Customer's deposit will increase by $50 million, isn't it? It will increase because customer has put a new deposit. And then the accounting equation remains balanced. 50 million asset, liabilities 50 million plus capital, no change. Got it? So this is the overall solution. You must understand this basic. Okay? Next one. A bank grants a loan of $100 million to a business. How does this transaction affect bank's balance sheet? So bank has given a loan of 100 million, given, grants, okay, given, loan, 100 million. So assets will decrease by $100 million, liabilities will decrease by $100 million, assets 100 million equals to liabilities, no change, plus capital, no change. Both A and B, these two. What is the answer? Assets will decrease. Is it so? See, you have given a loan. So asset will be plus 100 million. Done. Asset will be plus 100 million. What about liabilities? No change. Is there a change in the liability? No, no change given. And what about the capital? Capital is also not changing, so no change. What about these two questions? Asset will decrease by $100 million. Will the asset decrease? I have given a loan. So asset will increase. Okay, so this is wrong. If A is wrong, immediately D is wrong, because both A and B can't be true. Liabilities will decrease by $100 million. What is the relationship with the liabilities? I am giving a loan, nothing else is given. So this has no change. Liabilities have no change. So this is also wrong. This is also wrong. This is right. Asset will increase by $100 million equals to liabilities no change plus capital no change. Okay. Now you ask me, sir, but that has to be balanced then. If my asset is increased by 100 million, what will be on the other side then? Of course, on the other side also things will change. That is the balancing part. That we'll check later. But kindly note, assets have increased, no change in liability as of now. Okay. So this is the final solution. Look at this. Loans to the customer will increase by $100 million. Increase. There is no immediate change in the bank's liability. See, there is no immediate change. But however, this action impacts the bank's liquidity and interest income. So my interest income will increase, right? So bank's liquidity position, because I have given the money, so I am short of money then. So if I am short of money, if I require that money somewhere else, I will not be able to give. And interest income. The accounting equation remains balanced. 100 million asset, liabilities no change, plus capital. So assets will increase, no immediate change in liability. Got it? Clear? Move on. Next one. A bank borrows. Read this. This is a typical next level question, a different one. A bank borrows $200 million from the central bank, let's say RBI. How does it affect the bank's balance sheet? Assets, cash and cash equivalent will increase by $200 million. So I have borrowed the money. I have got the money from RBI. Second, liabilities. Borrowing from the central bank will increase by $200 million. What is the equation? Assets plus 200 million equals to liabilities 200 million plus capital, no change. And all of the above. What is the right answer over here? What is the right answer over here? Yeah. Many of you might have got afraid of up till now of all of these because two questions, not all of these. But in this case, the answer is all of these. The answer is all of these. Why? Because see this cash and cash equivalent will increase because I have received $200 million. from RBI. So it's a sort of cash I am receiving, right? So cash and cash equivalent will increase. That's right. Borrowing from central bank. See, I borrowed it. So liability has increased. Will increase. And of course, it has to be balanced. Asset 200, liability 200 plus capital no change. Right? So these are the important numericals and simple ones. Means not simple, tricky ones. You have to understand the logic and then it's simple. But if you don't understand, that's why this topic of assets and liabilities, we must understand what is asset clearly, what is liability clearly. Okay? Now before going, everyone, kindly join the new batches of Adda 24/7. Okay? Always join through the app. In the app, you will be getting 1% extra. Okay? Download the app first and then join. See this Officers Pro batch. Newly, just now starting. Ebooks, mock test, online live classes, recorded sessions, everything you are getting. Okay? Plus 81% off. But for that, you'll have to use the code Y432. Y432. Look at this. 80% discount plus 1% extra. 81%. 1% through the app. Plus you get ebooks. Plus you get mock test. Ebooks and mock test are chapter wise as well as up to the level of full length also. So go for it. Also you can join the Mahapack. See this. Increment Mahapack for CIB. One of the best Mahapacks. See this. CIB Increment Mahapack. But always purchase through the app. Download the app first. There you will get 1% extra. So Increment Mahapack. 6 plus 6 months. You buy for 6 months, you get it for 12 months. Plus 81% discount, plus 15 plus batches per subject, plus physical books, plus e-books, everything you are getting. Physical books will be delivered at your home address. Okay? Physical books. Then you will be getting Formula Bank, recorded videos, everything is there. And double validity. See this, you buy for 6 months, you are getting for 12 months. But for that, remember the code Y432. Never forget the code Y432. So 80% plus 1% plus double validity plus AI support plus ebooks plus mock test plus 15 plus batches. It's a win-win situation. Join it ASAP. Okay? Chalo. Bye from my side.